Good evening, everybody. Happy Saturday, happy weekend. Hope everyone's having a nice, relaxing Saturday. We're here at Spa, the 1930s version of Spa. It has some slight adjustments from the 1960s version. You'll notice that when we're running around, we don't go up the hill through Eau Rouge, and there's also a little detour around the back of the circuit. Thankfully, there isn't the stupid little chicane. I don't know why they would have put that in. But yes, it's round 3 of this GP 1939 series. It's a 6-round series, 45-minute race. And we've got a finalised schedule for the entire series now. So we did our first round at Reims, where I managed to pick up a victory. Our second round was at Rouen. I managed to pick up second place. And we're here at Spa for the third. Then we're heading over to Hockenheim, which is the 1960s layout. And again, going to Zandvoort, which is the 1967 layout. And then on to the Monza 10K. I believe we'll be going around the banking, which should be fun in these cars. Just hold on tight and deep breaths. So there shouldn't be any pit stops in this race. We're looking at laps over 4 minutes. So yeah, it's going to be an exercise in patience, I believe. Alright, so let's get in the cockpit. Hopefully let me know if the music is too loud or it's just right. And we'll get our timing boxes and such on so we can see what's going on. Right, gap. Don't want a number of stops, we want positions gained. We want the timing tower and the qualifying box. That will do nicely. Right. Oh, crikey. Where'd I put my glove? I put my glove. Glove? Where'd I put my glove? I've lost my glove already. It's not a good sign. Glove. Well, not sure where that's gone. We'll just have to use my other one. Right. I was topping the timesheets, but people have got quicker now. I expect it's going to be like a slipstreaming battle, so just staying in touch is going to be fun. Oh, blimey, they've got 4 minutes now. 4 minutes? What? Right, so we've got half an hour practice. Then I think we've got about 15 minutes quali, and then we're heading to the race for 45 minutes. 4 minutes. Now I imagine that.
Okay, make those calls, please, Claire. Pit exit's clear. Stay behind the white line.
I imagine that.
Green flag, sector 1.
Drafting is going to be key for a good quali lap. Also, keeping momentum up. You can lose a lot of time just by getting a really bad exit to some of these turns because there's straights everywhere. So I've had a bit of a busy weekend. So I'm a bit tired. My body is not feeling that great. But I'm going to push through. And hopefully I come out the other side and don't pass out. But we will see.
Yellow flag. Sector 1 is green.
Now, as with the last races, like Rouen was specifically, there was like many places where you just couldn't look in your mirrors. You had to concentrate on where you were putting the car. So as long as I'm on the racing line, I'm hoping people are sensible enough just to not kind of put a nose in up the inside and hope that the other person will see them, because you can't react in time with these cars. Some good helicopter shots there. So we're heading up to the Master Kink. If you get this wrong, you end up you're in someone's front garden, or you're hitting a telegraph pole. So you've got to be very careful. I mean, you can't see jack shit out of the mirrors, so... And if you get that one wrong, you're just going to hit a brick wall, so... There's just so many objects to hit. Let's just put it that way. Oh, followed him. So at the moment it seems to be a Mercedes and Auto Union Fest. There is one Alpha driver, but I don't know who's going to be here today. A lot of people are hoping for just the finish. They've been very unlucky with the first
Sector
few
1
rounds.
is yellow.
On your left, clear left.
So they're just looking to finish the race in one piece. We're carrying a lot of fuel for this because the throttle is wide open for the majority of this lap, so these cars are very thirsty. So I've put 123 litres in the tank.
Sector 1 is now green.
Coincidentally, this was the first track that when I first joined Sim Racing Online, this was the first track that we did, and we were in some 1960s F1, F2 and F3 cars. Those beginning races, they didn't go so well. Let's just say that. I was actually sure that I put
E3.
some highlights from my first adventures at Spa in my intro video, but maybe I didn't. It might be in my Be Right Back videos. I'm not too sure. I may have landed on my head. Let's just put it that way. The corner's a bit of an odd shape and I can't quite get the exit right. I haven't even touched low fuel yet. So that's Maddie.
On your left, clear left.
Fast lady at the top of the timesheets at the minute. I think she's just looking for a good finish. She could have won the first round, but crashed out and had to work her way back up the field. I think she retired from...
Sector 1 is 1.9 off the pace.
No, she didn't retire from the second round of Rouen. I think she was on pole. Oh, wrong gear. But jumped the start, and that put her way down the field because she had to do a drive-through. Shame, really, because it would have been a three-way fight for the lead. Now you've really got to get this right. If you get the setup wrong, whoa, It's a bit scary. A bit scary. Whoop. Keep it together. Oh, no.
It'll polish out, mate. Forget about it.
Yep. I think the problem with doing
Sector 2 is 1.9 seconds off the pace.
that, if you follow closely behind, someone won't be able to react in time. That's the only downside. You can go flat out through here when your tyres are all warmed up. You've really got to get the line right for that one. And then that's a bit more braking. Oh no, it's my worst. My favourite telegraph pole. That telegraph pole has killed me many times. Survival, I think, is the name of the game. Survival. Cramp in my foot, which doesn't help. Looks like there might be a big difference in lap time. Which could mean that it's going to be a bit of a lonely race if we're split off from some of the drivers. But, yes. Let's try it again. Keep me updated.
Understood. I'll keep you informed.
Alright, 15 minutes to go.
The pit exit's clear.
Thankfully, there's quite a bit of rubber on the track. So I think I've just got to take this curve as wide as possible to get a better exit. So I'm probably going to be moving around in my seat quite a lot today because I'm,
Yellow flag in sector 2.
as I said, my body is not
Green flag, sector 2.
playing ball today, and 45 minutes sitting in the seat is going to be quite painful. So if you hear me squealing or whimpering, you'll know why. But a podium here, I think, would
Sector
be,
1, yellow flag. Sector 3 is green.
an achievement. Really got to get the timing of those correct. Get the car set up for one way than the other. I mean, the good thing about VR is that you can kind of duck out
Yellow
from
flag.
the windshield, you know. But we're running the 1930s updated version of Spa. The person that did the updates for this track has done a great job. I would still kind of like to see it a bit more high res, but it is what it is. But you can see like little details of smoke coming out of chimneys and stuff like that. So that's
Green
really
flag
cool.
in Sector 1.
I think there's actually an airship as well somewhere. I don't know if it'll be a good year blimp in these at this day and age, but yeah.
Car left. Clear left.
You can see smoke coming out someone's chimney. You don't want to go too close to the edge of the track because there's those marshal posts which are solid. Don't hit those. Well, don't hit any solid object really. I think this is kind of just going to be a case of patience. It's the tortoise and the hare kind of scenario. You used to actually get speeding penalties if you cut the end of the pit lane too much. From what I remember. That's why I don't tend to go over
It looks like Penny has binned it.
too much to the right hand side.
Sector 2's green.
So we're back in the 1930s today, and then tomorrow we're a bit more up to date. We're going back into the V8 supercars. We'll be at Bathurst, so 2 long tracks in the same weekend. Joy. I mean, that's just going to be a case of survival as well. I think I'm 2nd or 3rd in the championship there. I've got no hope of catching first. And I had hoped in the last round that some people would take some points off the guy in the lead.
Sector 1 is 1.5 off the pace.
But I had an absolute nightmare. I could have settled for 6th place, I think it was. But because I was feeling too racy, I went in hot to one of the
Yellow flag,
chicanes
Sector 2.
and flipped the car over.
We think Summers has crashed.
Oh, Benjamin. So what's everyone been up
Green
to
flag,
this
Sector
weekend?
2.
Anything exciting? Oh! I imagine there's going to be lots of opportunities for clips today. I've noticed that I've featured in a few clip videos recently. Thankfully it's not been my demise that's been on camera, it's been me witnessing someone else's demise. I mean, I'm sure that my demise is going to come up at some point. I mean, me flipping over 5 times has got to be worth a highlight. I was so dizzy when I came back down. You've really got to be careful with that. There's too many objects on the outside to collide with. Slow in, fast out. So we should be expecting 10 drivers or so today. Stepping on the brakes into the hairpin. Minutes of practice left. You can't jab at the throttle in these cars. They punish. They punish you. Thankfully, the league admin has been kind. We're not running in variable weather or anything like that. God, imagine these things in the wet. Terrible. This turn is very deceptive on how fast you can take it.
Sector 1 is 1.8 seconds off the pace. The guy behind has just done a 4:06.2.
There's a lot of more committed people on the track doing more committed corners than me. I just want to keep a steady pace. So if I can stay in the 4:05 for the entire race, that would be an achievement. But it's probably not going to be that way. 4:06s maybe. I'm hoping no one takes a jab up the inside through that bit, because it seems like a very one lane type situation.
Sector 2 is 2.0 off the pace.
Thankfully, we had we came to our senses.
Sector 1 is yellow.
And had a vote for what was going to be round.
Green flag, Sector 1.
Round 3 of the 4 of the championship. Because originally it was the 1960s Nürburgring. It got switched. We have had quite high attrition rates for this so far. I think these things are hard enough without, throwing in a green hell, But it's nice having the tracks in period. Many of the tracks aren't technically. Oh, I keep changing down. Aren't the ones that were used in the 1930s, but they're close enough.
Sector 1 is 1.8 off the pace. Sector 2 is 2.0 seconds off the pace. Sector 3 is 3.6 off the pace. Yellow flag.
Whew. Let's have a read of chat. See what everyone's saying. Gosh. Oh, there's an Alpha driver. That's good. Let's have a look at the championship. We are following the old scoring system. So I think is it 7 points for the... No, 8 points for first. Then it's 6, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I believe there's a point for fastest lap. So I'm going to have to change that in my championship. Right, where's my... I mean, I've probably already set it for points for the fastest lap. Points for max lap, points for pole position, points for fastest lap. 1! So I think my championship's probably wrong. I mean, I might have to adjust it manually. Alright. So according to my list, I've got 16 points. Which is weird. A lot of stuff happening outside tonight. Yeah, because I won for the first round, but didn't get points for fastest lap. You have to bring that up with the admin. So I'm missing some points. And so is someone else. And weirdly, maybe it's calculating it wrong. Oh, I think it's calculating the fastest lap from qualifying. So my points table is wrong. So, naught. No, not 9. Naught. It's points for pole position.
That's the end of the session, P3.
So it should be 15:10. I think you're still wrong. Looks like I'm going to have to do it manually. So I don't know what. Right, okay, am I missing quality? I am. I am. Okay, let's close that down. Let's start quali. Right, we're going to put an empty tank on.
Exit looks clear. Okay, Neil, we've got 14 minutes to set a lap.
So we're only going to get a maximum of 3 laps. Thank you, Ben. And if I'd been paying attention, I could have kept up with some of the faster people and got a draft. And a reminder for this league, they work with the you must bring your car back to the pits in quali. If you crash out, that's your quali over. You can't just escape on track and then go back to the pits for another go. I quite like that rule. It helps.
Incidents in Sector 2, yellow flag.
It helps with.
We can see Penny has gone off. Sector 2 is now green.
Shut up, Jim. It helps with. Completely lost my train of thought thanks to Jim. Help keeps your mind sharp, I suppose. So we're looking for a 4:05 in quali.
We can see Summers has binned it.
It's the outlap, Ben. What you doing?
Sector 2 is now green.
Although you never know what the kind of the threshold for the crew chief saying someone's binned it, whether it's just someone touching the grass or what. To make things extra confusing, we've got a Marius and a Matthias in racing. Totally not very similar names that I'll get mixed up. I mean, one's going to be in an Auto Union and one's going to be in an Alpha, so. So we managed to get 10 drivers on track. I'm definitely pushing too hard for an outlap. It's 10 minutes gone of the session and I haven't even completed a lap yet. No, 5 minutes gone of the session, 10 minutes left. Missed the hairpin.
You've got 10 minutes left, 10 minutes to go.
Don't fail at the first corner, that would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Right, I'm nearly half a second up on my personal best. I didn't do my personal best on low fuel, so I would hope that my personal best gets done in quali. I should have had a death counter on for practice. How many times would I have died? Took off a few wheels. I didn't roll it though. Could have got a better exit there.
Yellow flag, keep your wits about you, mate.
I found a second.
Green flag in sector 2.
Turned in too early. Scary. I mean, I was getting all out of shape and then I saw smoke ahead and I was like, oh shit.
Yellow flag in sector 2. Sector 2 is green.
It's dust. Thank you, Caitlin. I think a lot of people have had a problem. Is that Ben again? It makes no real sense to kind of get in behind somebody that's slowing down, particularly in these cars where it's very hard to change direction. Just lost all of our advantage. That second I said that we had, it's gone. Just like that. Just like that. Why did I change down? I didn't need to. The hairpin.
Yellow flag in sector 1, P3. Sector 1 time is good. Sector 2 is 1.3 seconds. Off the pace. Sector 3 is 3.9. Off the pace.
I ended
Yellow
up
flag, sector 2.
down on my personal best in the end.
It looks like Da Silva has gone off. Green flag in sector 2.
Gonna have less fuel now, so always look on the bright side of life, eh? I mean, you just gotta let the car go where the car wants to go sometimes.
Alright Neil, 5 minutes to go, 5 minutes left.
So we're gonna get this lap and we're gonna get one more. got enough fuel to do it. I didn't judge the fuel totally correct. I could have put in less. I'm carrying a lot more fuel than I need. Just a bit of momentum there. Right, let's try and not get scared around the Master Kingdom game, eh? Got to get that nose in and then flick it to the right as soon as you can without hitting that damn fence. I mean, I'm hoping that people were sensible on the first lap. Otherwise, this is going to be torture. Right. I'm a second up like last time. Let's not screw it up.
Sector 2 is 1.4 seconds off the pace.
So first and second are...
We think that Da Silva has crashed.
Oh, just away. Pushed a bit too much through there and through there.
Sector 1 is green.
Problem with that corner is that you're just between second and third gear. Sometimes you have to drop down a gear, but then you're at the top of the rev range. Right. Right. We're not dropping down a gear this time. We're going to get the hairpin right.
Just 2 minutes left, 2 minutes to go.
Right, one more lap to go.
That's your quickest lap in this session. Sector 1 is quick, Sector 2 is 1.4 off the pace. Sector 3 is 2.2 seconds off the pace.
Still messed up turn one.
Very little fuel left.
Pushing way too hard into that first two turns. No. I don't think I'm going to get that time back. 404.2. The leaders. Oh, the leaders did a scrappy lap that last time out. Maybe they're doing maybe they're doing like one stint. I mean, they wouldn't, because they'd need to come back to the pits to... You'd need to do like a minimum 3 laps, and we've only managed to get 3 laps in. I was running it so
Sector 1
wide
is
there.
1.4 off the pace.
I'm 2 seconds off the off my personal best now. Time just disappears. Absolutely disappears. Right, we've got 11 seconds left. I'm gonna park it, because I'm not going to improve.
Sector 2 is now yellow. That's the end of the session. P3. Let's see what everyone else does. So the top 2 are still
out in front. I think Maddie can probably get in the 3-minute 59s, perhaps. But, oh, everyone's on the same page. That makes it easier for me. Someone's been DQ'd. Wonder why they were DQ'd. Track limits? Yes. I don't know. I'm hoping that my trackside camera was actually viewing me for my quality laps. Otherwise it would have been very disconcerting. So I forgot to actually select it. It keeps changing. Alright, top two is still so Maddie's got done a personal best in the second sector. No, faster of anyone. Yeah, there you go, 3:59.2. I'm hoping to be lucky enough to just scrape away with third, I think. Right, so Caitlin is on her last lap, I think. Oh, shit. 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 Oh, thank God for that. I'd never used photo mode before. So she's done a personal best in the first and the second. Just look at it in maybe the 4-minute 10 range, which would put her fifth. Let's get rid of the titles for now. One single alpha driver. Right, down to the hairpin. There you go, fifth. 4:11. I wasn't too far off from my guess. I wasn't too far off. Right, let's go back to our main page. Okay. Starting order is set. Let's have a look at the starting order. So, as expected, Maddie gets pole. Kirill, the chap that I had the battle with, gets second. Third is me. John Van der Geest in fourth. Caitlin Penny in fifth. Then you have Ben Summers, my teammate, in sixth. Marius in seventh. Ed Jones in eighth. Matthias in ninth. And Jules Silva in 10th. So there you go. There you go. There's a few people doing practice start, sounds like. Right, so let's go back to cockpit. Let's put on our timing boxes. Timing tower, extended battle box. There we go. That should do nicely. So what do you think? Where am I going to finish? Starting in third? Where am I going to finish? Where am I going to finish? Let's do a vote, a prediction. Where will I finish? I'll do a 2-minute prediction. So am I going to win? Top 3, top 5, top 10, or retire? Will it be? And remind me to catch out the points, because I always forget. Now another thing is you've got to be very careful on this start, because you aren't holding the brake. 60 litres? Are you mad? 123? You're going to need 120 or so. Not 60. Well, at least that's what my calculation is saying. That reminds me, I should make sure that I've got my race set up. Well, people are saying 110, but I don't trust it, and I'm not going to correct them. I'm not going to correct them. My calculation said about 119. So I put in 123 just to be sure. Just to be sure. Right, survival, I think is the name of the game. Ben has voted. I don't know what he's voted for, but Ben has voted.
2 minutes to go, 2 minutes.
I want to stay in the top 3. I don't know what I'm going to feel like when all of the cars are around me in it. But I don't really want to be too close to the top 2. And I don't want to outbrake myself in turn 1 and skittle everybody else either. That would be embarrassing, wouldn't it? That would be very embarrassing. Very embarrassing indeed. I will have to ask about the fast lap rules as well. Whether it just means you get a point for pole or not. But 3 minute 59, Maddie's going to run away with this. So we've got 2 audio unions at the top, and then it's a Mercedes-Benz 3, 4, 5 and 6. We've got another auto union, then a Mercedes, then an Alpha, and then an auto union in the back. We also have to see who forgets to hold their brake on the hill. I mean, the fact that you can... If it's a drive-through, it's not going to be too bad, but you've got to obviously go through the pits at 100 kilometres an hour. Maximum. But it's going to be a very long 45 minutes. So best of luck to everybody, including me. Oh, I'm going to sleep well after this.
Checker flags out, P3.
Get your clip button ready. Get your clip button ready. Got to make sure that our camera changes over when the session rolls over.
That's the end of the session. P3. P3. 60 minutes. Okay, Neil. Get ready.
Right, I think it's pointing to me. If it's not, then oh well. Woohoo!
Okay, spotter course please, Claire.
Clear left.
I did think about trying keeping that place, but I would have been in the pit lane, and I didn't think that was proper sportsmanlike conduct, so I backed off. I got a good start, but I just got too sideways. Stay close to John coming at these two corners. I can probably draft past. Uh-oh, uh-oh, uh-oh!
Okay, Neil, you picked up some minor aero damage.
Pants, I think is the word. I'm trying not to.
Yellow flag. We think Summers has stacked it.
Oh, cut my corner too much there. I mean, I have the pace to keep up with third, so... Just got to not panic. No one's wrapped himself around a telephone pole to start with, so that's good. It was a silly mistake on my part, because I've got like seconds to catch up now. That's pushing way too hard. Oh fuck! He's braking earlier than me.
Yellow flag. We think that Estra has binned it. Green flag, sector 2, P4.
Patience. Patience.
Incident in sector 1, yellow flag. We think Penny has spun off. Green flag, sector 1.
Try and put John
Sector 3 is clear, green flag.
Now this is where I got it wrong last time, so I've got to keep it together and getting the draft down the straight.
On your right. Hold your line. Still there. Hold your line, clear right.
I've never taken this line into this corner before.
Yellow flag. I think P5's gone off.
I had to
Green
guess
flag, sector
my
2.
braking point there. Right. Now I need to get away from John.
Guest behind is increasing. It's now 1.1.
I mean, I did a 4:17 in that lap, so I got held up by about 10 seconds. So we got 8 seconds to the car in front.
Sector 3 is yellow.
We were watching Summers.
It looks like Guest has gone off. The gap in
That's my
front is now
teammate you're talking
9.4.
about. Both racing for the Dr. Pepper fueled motorsports.
Green flag,
Good mate
sector
of
3.
mine. Now you would think that it would be easy to look at chat with so many bloody straights, but it's hard to take my eyes off the road. Because I'm scared. I'm braking so hard for that corner, but still not slowing down. I wish I could actually read chat.
That was a 4:07.1 P3.
We've got our podium, we just need to keep all of the wheels on our wagon, as they say. Well, that's definitely not the right line to that corner, is it? I quite like the black. We had like a skin pack that we could install. Black seemed the most sensible out of the colours that were provided. Unfortunately, I don't think a lot of people have decided to run the custom skin, so you've got a lot of silver Mercedes and Auto Unions. Bit of a shame. Oh, that was a bit blurry there. I'm actually up on my time from quali as well. It's this one that kills me. I can never quite get the swing it back to the right. Dr. Pepper fuel. You like to spice things up. Yeah.
The gap in front is now 10 seconds.
I have been tempted to buy a custom rim. I think Thrustmaster do like the big Ferrari one, which would be kind of cool and it would kind of fit this era. Although, looking at the steering wheel that we've got in here, it doesn't really seem that big. But I think back in these days they did have big steering wheels, so. And I've seen footage of when people were driving these. They're never. They've never got the wheel straight. It's always constant corrections. Always. It's amazing to watch. The 250 GTO, that's right. I've always fancied as well doing trying a NASCAR race with a bigger rim. That's what she said. But God knows how much those licensed wheels cost. Although saying that, I'm using a Ferrari rim at the moment, but it's the one that came with my TSPC wheel, and I've just added it to the T818 base. And I've run out of buttons already. Need more buttons.
The gap ahead is now 11 seconds.
I'll pull it out. Again, I don't think I'm going to be able to catch him. I just need to keep everything pointing in the right direction, and I've got a podium. Hayton's up to 4th. Which is quite far behind there. So sometimes I brake at the second marker and I can slow down quick enough, and other times it just doesn't. I don't know whether my braking method is not good enough in these cars. You can see my opposition up on top of the hill there. But I thought this league is very, or this series rather, kind of one of a kind. It's not often we do something vintage, and we've also got some more vintage race kind of. Well, I suppose it would still be called vintage GT revival races. So we're going to be running in 60s cars. I think I've picked my car. I think. I picked the loudest one. And we've got some classic tracks with that. Big black line there. Was that me on the first lap? been a bit safer there. Look on eBay. Well, they, it's the, I think I'd maybe need to have the quick release hub for my T818.
The gap ahead is now 13 seconds.
Ooh, the BMW Pro car, that sounds cool. I remember that from IR Factor 1 days. I think we did a league of pro cars. I remember it being an absolute bloody beast. What was our last lap? 4:06. That's not too bad. Zandvoort. Next Sunday is 1991 at Imola. That should be cool. The 1990s at Thruxton. So classic, especially with the if the track has got a skin pack on it. Because I know that when I was looking at some of the mods for Assetto Corsa, they have like period skins going back to the 90s with like the Daily Express and stuff. Advertisements. It's very, very cool. But in the GT Revival, we're going to be racing at places like Alton Park in the 60s, which is bumpy as hell. So, a lot of vintage racing coming up. See, I seem to be slowing down quite early and I'm braking at the same point. It depends on what method you use to brake. So the person behind is doing 407s. And I'm doing 406s. I did a 406 in that last lap. They did a 407, so they are about 30 seconds behind now, so it's lonely. I knew it would be like this. Main the road, everyone an accurate car model.
The gap in front is increasing. It's now 17 seconds.
I've got like a whole list of some of the AMS1 mods from way back. I've been trying to categorise them into years and stuff. And racing AMS1
Incident in Sector 1. Sector 1 is yellow.
in VR.
We think that Estra has spun off.
Oh, why can't it be the leaders?
Sector 1 is now green. Yellow flag, Sector 2.
Because AMS1 can be played in VR.
I think P2 spinned it.
Everything takes a whole different meaning. Oh, P2 went off really badly. That means I've got P2. Did he recover though? He's dropping back. I wonder if he's intact. I saw the skid marks going off to the right. It must have been a bit of a big off, but managed to keep all the wheels on their wagon. Yeah, I mean, I've got, there's some mods which just don't agree with VR in AMS1. Like the 1958 mod I can't run because it's just too heavy. or it just doesn't agree with the way that the VR is rendered, because it runs very poorly. But I like the 1958 mod. Very cool. But my
Green flag,
kind of
sector 2.
mod of choice is the 1971 mod, I think it is. I think it's an ISO. That's very cool. Yeah, I don't think it's going to get improved. It is what it is at the moment, and it's going to stay like that. I mean, it's strange that you can't kind of do it back to R-Factor 1, but you can technically use R-Factor 1 stuff in AMS anyway, so... So just racing, you know, my mods of choice, because there's quite a few nice historic tracks. There's a nice big long version of Charade, the old version. I like racing around that. Again, I've been trying to catalogue some of the older tracks to try and find out what eras of tracks there are. And I finally figured out how to get my direct drive wheel to not kill me in AMS 1. As before, I had it set too strong and it would rip my... Oh, fuck. Okay. I braked probably 50 metres later than I normally did, but I still came up. Odd.
V2.
But I'm trying to arrange a catalogued repository of some of the old mods so they don't disappear. So my nearest championship rival was Kirill, who's now down in 6th. That works well for me. I am leading the championship in this by 15 points to 9.
Yellow flag in sector 1. We think Penny has binned it.
Oh, I wanted you to say Shepherd.
Green flag sector 1.
The leader is 35 seconds ahead though. I haven't even looked at the time left or the fuel gauge. Like 30 minutes of fuel left, with 23 minutes of the race to go. I think I've got enough. But Maddie did say that she's put in 110 litres, whether she changed her mind or not before the race. I don't know if 110
Okay,
is
Neil,
enough.
halfway home. Fuel looks good.
But she's got enough in hand to be able to lift and coast to the end. So. But this would be good for Maddie because she's had a couple of shocking rounds. First round was an absolute nightmare, and then the next round she did everything right. She got pole, but she jump started and had to take a drive-through, which pretty much ruined her race. So, and this works with the old scoring system, so we get 9 for first, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which makes it, I think, harder to catch up if you have a bit of a nightmare. We usually use a different scoring system, but because this is a vintage round, I think that the admins decided to go full vintage. You know? I mean, I was considering getting
Caution.
a leather cap and a white scarf.
We can see Guest has binned it.
Yes, that must be behind me, I think. Now, it kind of depends how kind Maddie wants to be, because she's got enough in hand that she might be able to back up a bit to not make an extra lap. If she is one lap
Guest
short.
has just retired.
Ah! Is that our second retirement, I think? Is there only 5 of us left? That's what I can see on my relative. Have we had really high attrition today? If you just stay on the track, you're gonna get a podium. And I mean, we were thinking of doing the Nürburgring, the 60s version of the I don't know why I went down a gear. 60s version of the Nürburgring for round 4. That would have been foolish. I actually think if you leave the gear change till late, you can brake much later than you think.
Sector 2 is clear.
I just don't want to take off a wheel by cutting those walls too close. That would be bad. Right, we're coming up against a lap car in 30 seconds.
That's 20 minutes to go.
20 minutes. How many laps we done? 6. We're probably going to get 8 or 9. Yeah, we when I looked at the first couple of rounds, I suggested to the league organisers, and I said, because we've had such high attrition in the first couple of rounds, do you think it's really wise doing the Nürburgring? Because it is a nightmare. And if people are struggling with a 4-minute track, they're going to struggle with a 9-minute, you know? So we replaced it with the Hockenheim in the 1960s, which will be very boring on your own because it is just lots of straights. But if you can stay with the pack, the slipstreaming should be excellent. So we've got Hockenheim in 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks after that we've got Zandvoort 67. And then our last round is the Monza 10K. It's just what the league admin chose. Don't really have a say in what tracks get run. I think Solitude personally is not up to snuff driving wise. It's got so many little bugs which because you can retire from the race if you get caught in a fence and stuff like that. Some of the collisions of objects is not great, so. And it looks quite bad. It's not graphically great. And in the past, I seem to suffer with some of the track choices because...
Alright Neil, you've used half your fuel.
The ones that are chosen are sometimes quite old and they're graphically not great. And in a headset, they always look brighter than they would do on a screen. Some of them have been literally blinding, and the league admin has refused to change the in-game race time to something a bit later, which normally tones it down a little. That's their defence. It's probably a bad it comes from GPL. It's not too bad. It is a bit rough. It's definitely it's not a 1.0 release. And again, graphically, it's a bit iffy because it does try to do 3D grass, and graphically it doesn't look well. When I say it graphically doesn't look right, I'm saying it from the point of view of when you're in the headset, of course, you can spot these things a bit easier. Or they stick out to you a bit more than they would on a flat screen. So you can definitely spot some of the 2D stuff you like. That's definitely a 2D background. That's definitely a 2D tree, and it can sometimes make the world seem a bit fake to you. So. But we're plodding along like a tortoise. Matthias is now in third. Is Matthias the one that's in the Alpha? Matthias started in ninth, and he's now in third place. How about that? Just goes to show, if you keep your wheels on your wagon, you'll get a podium. But I think
15 minutes left.
I think a few people went too hard too soon. They didn't give this track the respect it deserves and just wrapped themselves around a tree. But we'll check out what the race reviews in the league forum are like to see how everyone died. I'm hoping that the numbers do keep up though, even though you know, we seem to sometimes have a lot of registrations at the start of the season and it kind of dwindles to the end. It would be a shame. It would be a shame. That reminds me, I should update my website for a few bits soon. Got something in my eye. That's not good in a VR headset. Oh, still got 13 minutes to go. I'm just taking it easy now. There's no real point rushing. We've got 36 seconds on the guy behind, 60 seconds to the lady in front. I think Zandvoort is going to be a big test because it's probably going to be the only circuit we're going to go to which has I'm trying to say. Trying to follow people around the fast sections is going to be really difficult. It's got a good flow to it, but I think if you get the flow wrong in these cars, you're going to be killing your momentum big time. But there's only going to be really one place to pass, which is going to be turn 1. Imagine if we did Kyle Army in these as well. Imagine the drafting down the main straight. That'd be epic. There aren't enough 60s tracks for R Factor 2. I always love a 60s track. They just have a certain character. They're dangerous as hell. Oh, I locked the rears then. Let's try and leave
Yellow flag in sector 3, yellow flag sector 1.
I was trying to leave my braking as late and the gear change as late as possible because I knew that I was probably running wide. Oh! Ed Jones has
Sector
gone
1 is
bang.
green. Jones has retired.
Ed Jones has blown up his engine. I don't know if you saw that car at the side of the road. Black smoke coming out of it. Then there was 4. so much attrition. You have got to give these cars a lot of respect. You can't push them too hard or overdrive them because they don't like that. My thigh is going numb.
Sector 3 is clear.
Oh, just lucky if I can get through this without dying in game and out. It's been a very painful day. I mean, I don't think I had anything from Maddie.
Okay, Neil, 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left.
She's doing 402s. Kirill, unfortunately, came unstuck. Probably hitting the scenery. And I mean, if you do end up hitting something or bending something, then I'd imagine the pit stop is going to be horrible. I've tried Avis in other sims, the older version of Avis. I think I had it for Assetto Corsa. I don't know how it would be to race on. I like the banking, that's quite fun. Although the mods that I've tried they don't have a good transition onto the banking. And it's, in my opinion, probably too bumpy. A couple of tracks that I kind of like are How. I don't know the extended name for it, but there's a track that this looks like it's made in an industrial estate. What's the other one? There's another one that's very, very similar. It just looks like the public roads on a housing estate. Don't get distracted by the blimp now. And imagine, even if Maddie has short field, she's got enough in hand to be able to do a pit stop and refuel, so... I can't believe they used to race at Avis in the 90s with DTM. I mean, they put loads of shitty chicanes in it, but... I do like Linus Monteri though. It is called Linus. Linus? That's a good track. Well, 7 minutes left, that's about 2 laps. We did Rue 1 in round 2, and we did Reims in round 1. Reims was a track that wasn't graphically great. The track didn't actually have any rubber on it either. But it was drift central. It took a different style of driving that hasn't actually carried over to any of the other tracks. Whether or not it's because there was no simulated rubber on the track that it just felt different or not, I don't know. But I managed to win that one. Came second in Rouen, and hopefully I'm going to come second here. If I just keep my wheels on my wagon. Oh, I'm tired. So very tired. Piccolo? Ah, okay. Yeah, that would be a bloody nightmare. I'm saying that.
Yellow flag in sector 2.
Of doing an upcoming league race.
We think that Penny has stacked it. Green flag in sector 2.
There's another league that's doing some classic races. I was going to miss Sebring, so I think it's today. They were doing Sebring from the 50s and 60s. It clashed with the league racing I'm doing this weekend, but the upcoming rounds do not clash with any of the league racing that I'm doing from now until when it ends, so I could be doing charge.
That's 5 minutes to go. Come on, keep it together. We'll be on the podium here.
Which is going to be a test and a half. And then there was 4. Haven't actually had any dinner yet. I don't actually know if I want dinner. Maybe if I've got any tuna in the cupboard, I'll have some tuna pasta. It's been a very exhausting day. And then I come home and do something that's even more tiring. I'll have to read that in a second when I get to a straight. I can't put my head down long enough. Completely missed where my braking point was. I'm also liking the, I've got a haptic cushion. It can kind of give me a bit more feel. I don't think it improves my driving, it just makes the chair feel less dead. Since I upgraded to a direct drive wheel, I've been kind of more aware that there's a lot of feeling in the wheel. A lot of feeling in the wheel, but none behind it. And it made it feel really strange. So having just a very subtle bumps and the vibration when you lock tyres and what have you is quite cool. Can be quite painful if you sit on it wrong. I mean, thankfully it's quiet enough that it's not picked up by the microphone or anything. I don't think I could get away with having the butt kickers or anything attached to my rig. The neighbours would kill me.
That's 2 minutes left. 2 minutes.
I mean, technically this should be the last lap. Technically. The reflections are quite weird on the front of my car. I'll have lots of reflections at the early part of the circuit, but then at this part of the circuit it doesn't seem to have any. So I don't think the shaders are working the way they should be on this car. It needs a little bit of a graphical touch-up. I mean, my left butt cheek has gone to sleep. My left thigh is numb. It's great, lovely, charming. I think the motto of this race should be to finish first, but you have to finish. I mean, I would love to take these on trip in the wet, but it doesn't have the correct shaders for the body or the windscreen either, so it would look a bit weird. I always like a patchy track. It's always quite fun to race on. Makes things a bit more interesting than just a 30 degrees track temperature. I've got so much fuel left. So the leader is 60 seconds ahead. Is she going to push it for another lap? Because sometimes the crew chief doesn't actually tell me that the race has finished. I only sometimes know by looking down at the trackside cam. I think we're going for another lap. She must have had enough fuel then, but I guess she could have been lifting and coasting this entire time. Oh no, there you go.
Yellow flag sector 2. Okay, Neil, one more to go. Keep it together, we'll be on the podium. It looks like Penny has gone off.
That was a white flag, not a checkered. Deceiving there. Some tracks don't actually have a white flag.
Sector 2 is clear.
Right, we're down to 3. We're down to 3. We started with 10. I think a couple people didn't survive the first lap. But we're down to 3. You just needed to survive. I might actually change the transparency of the chat window because I'm having trouble seeing it. I've also adjusted my force feedback recently and made it a bit stronger. But thankfully this is quite easy on the force feedback. Only if you don't get it out of shape. It bites if you get it out of shape. But thankfully I think you still get points if you DNF. There isn't like a minimum distance or anything, so for the people that crashed out will still get some points. As before, the points are 9, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the top 7 get points. It's just been a drive in the country. When I had like a 30-second lead over the guy behind, I was like, well, this is what the race is going to be then. But Maddie's got to be chuffed with this though. Finally getting a win. after the first 2 rounds being a nightmare for her. Oh, I can't wait to get this headset off. Relative as well goes quite mad on this track because it's so long. So sometimes people can jump around by 10 seconds. Right, that's Maddie finished. Fuel gauge has gone red, but I'm going to cross the line in 1 corner. I had 7 more minutes of fuel left. I could have done 1.7 laps. We survived!
Well done, Neil.
Yeah.
Great drive. That's a podium.
Whoo! So I was taking it really easy in that last few. Oh crap! I think someone might be getting a bit of a slap on the wrist in the steward's office because you're not supposed to talk in the race. But wow, it wasn't the most exciting race, but we finished. And Matthias started in 9th, comes home with a podium. How about that? It's not too bad, is it? Right, cross the line, I believe. Right, if we need to see the race results. So, Maddie gets her first win of the season. Maddie is in... where is she in the championship? She's 5th in the championship with 4 points. So... And an Alfa Romeo gets a podium. The only Alfa Romeo. How about that? So Matthias gets 3rd. Caitlin must have had a late crash. Comes home with 4th. Ed Jones 5th. John Vandergy 6th. Kirill, my nearest competitor, who's got 8 points in the championship, in 2nd. Comes home 7th. Marius comes home 8th. Gilles de Silva is 9th, and Ben, my teammate, in 10th. I'll be interested to see whether there's chat already on the forum to say, "Oh no, things went bad." Let's have a look. So Kirill says I counted over 20 rollovers and half of them were in the air. I'm pretty sure that's my PB. But good haul of points. So there is I think fastest lap gets a point in this series. So I'm going to have to do provisional points because I haven't added them up on my thing correctly. Let's have a look. Let's add our points up. Let's go back to the... Thing was rolling over and it wouldn't let me select the... Yeah. There we go. Right, let's add our result to the Championship Manager. and this is very provisional. It's not going to have some of the fastest lap points. I don't know how they're calculating the fastest lap, whether it's fastest lap in qualifying or race. So, as it stands, let's have a look at the driver standings. I'm leading the championship with 21 points. With that win, Maddie has jumped from 5th all the way up to 2nd in the championship with 12. Kirill is in 3rd with 9. John Van der Geest is in 4th with 7. And Ed Jones is in 5th with 6 points. So we've got 3 rounds left. 3 rounds left. So let's have a look at the rounds we've got left. So
the track temp's increasing. It's now 36 Celsius.
Shut up, Jim. So we've got Hockenheim 1966 in 2 weeks' time, because this is a bi-weekly championship. And then we've got Zandvoort 1967. That should be fun. And then we've got what I believe is going to be the Monza 10K. So it's going to be the oval and the main part. Thank you for the follow, K. That's very KO. Sorry, that's very nice of you. So that should be fun. I haven't actually taken these things around the banking yet, so you can imagine that's going to be quite exciting, especially if people were drafting around there as well. Who's going to be the first to vault off the banking? Who's going to be the first? Hopefully not me. Hopefully not me. So from the next round onwards, I'm probably going to try and do the championship predictions, and we'll see. We'll see if we can see if I'm going to be close to taking the championship or not. Because I've got a lead of, well, it was 21 points to 12, and the maximum points between first and second. So if the pole person gets a win, that'll be 9 plus 1, and second, which is 6, so they gain 4 points. Could be possible. Could be possible. Ah, you recognised it. You recognised it. It's Uncle Buck. Uncle Buck. I've got a few more. Some of my favourite movies. Right. Let's do the channel points. If I didn't accidentally go away from the stream manager, let's have a look at the stream manager. Let's see what the predictions were. So, a lot of people chose a top 3, and I did get a top 3. So people win some points. So I'm going to be back tomorrow. Same time. Stream's going to start at 7:30. But this time we're going to be doing a 60-minute race, and we're going to be in the V8 supercars at Bathurst. That is going to be tough. Very, very difficult. It is a very competitive series. And Bathurst, I think, is the 5th round of that championship. We just have a quick look. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, so Bathurst is the 5th round of that championship on March 10th. And then we've got Adelaide on March 24th. I'm actually kind of in no man's land in 2nd place in that championship. It's going to be hard for 3rd place to catch me, and I'm never going to catch the 1st place because they've basically won everything apart from 1 round. So 2nd in the championship could be mine. So I look forward to that. Okay, well, thank you for watching, everybody. Check out my schedule. I normally put on my schedule when I'm actually doing proper league racing and stuff, and I'm trying to intersplice league racing with some story games that I want to clear off my backlog. So at the moment we're doing Sleeping Dogs, and there's a few more story games I want to get to. That should be quite fun. But thank you for watching, everybody. It's been tiring. I'm off to try and get some food and to maybe lie down. I think the pain medication helped before the race. But we will see. We will see. Anyhow, see you on the stream tomorrow. Have a good rest of your Saturday.